Did you ever wonder what was going on with the theater industry in New York? Well, it's Tuesday around 4:30, October 20th, and you can see here the Atkinson Theater empty. Nothing is going on. That's because everything is shut down and will be shut down until next year, 2021. And you can see here on the street, no one. We're 1 block away from Times Square and you can see no one. This theater district provides so much revenue for the restaurants, for all the other businesses around here, but it is what it is. There's nothing anyone can do. And everyone has accepted it and has learned to adjust. You can see here, looking down the street, looking west on the street, no one. And here, right across from the Atkinson Theater, we can see the Friedman Theater. And again, no one. Now, this is all to be expected. You're not going to have anyone around here because everything is shut down by state rules until next year. There's the Barrymore Theater, and again, you see no one. Times Square is in a similar way. There are very few people in Times Square compared to what is normal. And on 46th Street, you can even see the Imperial Theater, no one. Even though it's matinee time, no one. On 46th Street also, you can see how empty it is. Why not? No one is in town right now. No one wants to be in town, except for a few intrepid souls. Now, what's going on here is just an example of what's going on in a lot of big cities, all very quiet. Now, on a Tuesday evening, it shouldn't be like this. It should be packed with people going to the restaurants. And if you look in the distance, that's where a lot of the restaurants are on 46th Street. That's the classic location for restaurants for the theater district. But you can see, empty. Now, what you might be able to notice is those little stands that are out there, but they're not really stands. New York City has allowed the restaurants to establish outdoor eating. So what a lot of restaurants have done is they've built these additions on the street, taking up parking, but people can eat in a heated environment. So it allows them a measure of revenue, which is what they really need right now since there's no one around. And this again is taking a look now east. We're looking towards Times Square and you can see how empty it is. The Richard Rogers Theater, the Imperial Theater, the Paramount Theater, all empty, no one. But that's to be expected. And you can see here the city calling this Restaurant Row, which is what it actually is actually trying to advertise and encourage this. Close down the street, allow the restaurants to have a little space. And you can see here from 46th Street and 8th Avenue how quiet it is. No cars, even though it's close to 5 o'clock, empty. But this is, as I said before, this is New York right now. It's empty. And that's why the theaters, well, when the theaters are closed, people are not coming into town. They're not going to the restaurants, they're just staying home. And that's what's advised for most people, just to stay home. This is a better view of Restaurant Row. You can see everything set up for the restaurants, just to encourage people to still come out, because there are still some people, native New Yorkers, who enjoy the whole idea of just going to Restaurant Row. So what you're seeing here is the whole setup. It's just beautiful, and it's great the way New York has encouraged this too. And 46th Street is all lined with these beautiful restaurants. And just to make things, to make a go of it, they have these outdoor attachments, and it's allowed by the city, and the city wants it because they want the restaurants to do well. So it's just part of it, and it's all part of the whole theater ambiance. And this is part of New York helping the restaurants weather this little storm that's going on right now. And you can take a look down 46th Street to see where the other theaters were that we were filming earlier. This is just a closer look at how good of a job the restaurants have done with kind of thinking on their feet, realizing that you can't be open the way it used to be open, but you got to compromise somehow and figure out how to encourage people to dine. And you can see here, tables all set up, ready to go. And since this is about 5 o'clock, it's still a little early for people, but the restaurants really are doing a great job. Just a great job. Just amazing. And you can see how 46th Street has very little traffic. It's just amazing how it has such little traffic, but it's the city of New York that actually wants to encourage people to go out. And they're kind of, I'm sure they're doing this as a favor to the restaurants. You can see down there how they have the street blocked off except to through traffic. But it's a great, nice treat that New York City is doing to the restaurants just to help them weather this storm. And once this storm is over, things will go back to normal, because this 46th Street is one of the prime areas for restaurants and the theater. Like normally on a day of theater, it's packed with people. All the restaurants are packed because it's one of the things to do. And right now, today on October 20th, it's about 70 degrees. So this would be one of those days when everyone would be out, but they're obviously not out. But you can see, it's a great thing that the restaurants have all gotten set up and they're ready to go. And once things get more back to normal, it's going to be a great thing. The Tina Turner musical also is not spared a lack of crowds. Empty. And the Marriott Marquis Theater is no different. It's like all of Times Square. This is the Marriott Marquis. No one around, as there should be no one around. Fifth Street, and again, empty. Yeah, here the lights are actually off. Some of the other theaters, they didn't let adversity really bother them, but here they're deciding to not spend all that extra money to keep the lights on when there's no one around. Some theaters are doing that, but you can see how here these theaters have decided to not do it because there's no one around. Who are you advertising to? They know that. Hotels are empty, Times Square is empty. It's just everyone just is eager to survive right now. And here, if we turn around, look towards Times Square, empty. It's almost 5 o'clock now on a Tuesday. Empty. Closer look at all the closed theaters, the Schoenfeld Theater. but quiet. Broadway, the Schubert Theater, quiet. No lights, no action, no crowds. That's okay. They're saving money. Like, you don't want to have the lights on if you don't have any audience. No traffic. Now we're turning to look towards Times Square. And that tall building in the distance is the Metlife Building, or formerly the Pan Am Building, but that's going back a long, long time. There used to be a helicopter pad on the top of that building until it crashed, and then New York City said, no more helicopter pads on any tall buildings. You could only have them near the rivers. That's it. And here we see more examples of a quiet theater area. James Theater, completely quiet. That's where they had the show Frozen for a period of time. But right now it makes no sense having any of these shows around when there are no people around. See the James Theater. You can see here more theaters under renovation while there's downtime. Very, very quiet.